Bank of Ghana, apart from Ministry of Finance, budget, fiscal issues, why should Ajua Mansa in Makola, that businessman, care about what you put in when it comes to inflation rate?
George, I think that conversation we've really made progress on. Apart from the fact that it affects your day-to-day activities, people are beginning to appreciate how inflation affects other things. I mean, if you're a businessman, why wouldn't you think about inflation?
Why should I care?
Because at any point in time, there is uncertainty on what the price of the commodity that you used to buy is. So one is that if you ask any businessman what has happened to his or her activities in 2022, the first thing is about the issue of uncertainty because of the spikes that we are recording. So what you really want to see is something stable, something predictable. So if we have to go through the same in 2023, it's going to bring uncertainties. It's not going to allow people to behave rationally. People will begin to ask questions whether is it rational to hoard rather than to put? Is it rational to profiteer in this perspective rather than? So inflation has been understood to the extent that it is not just about what you buy for your day-to-day consumption, but its effect on one, your business, and two, other macroeconomic variables.
How far is this thing true? Because there are some who have argued that the drive that we are seeing is there is also some element of profiteering as well.
I wouldn't stick my neck out and say that it is happening, but when I look at variables like price variations, and I've said this over and over, we've gone through a 3-month period, a 4-month period where one item you can record about 120% variation within the same enclave.
That is not normal.
So then people will ask questions, is it because people want to profiteer? Is it because people are getting the cost of the item differently and so they are not? All these are questions that are coming up.
But I believe that this is something that your science, when it comes to the data gathering, has found some answers to over the year. That indeed there is some element of profiteering when it comes to the spikes that we are seeing with commodities on the market.
We currently are running off a survey, finishing off a survey that is trying to go beyond the numbers to understand what is really happening. And one of the issues that we are looking at is whether the price variations were really as a result of profiteering. We're going to do it, but we're going to, as I said, it's a telephone interview we are just about finishing. Once we are putting that data out there, George, again, I'll be very careful because it will be coming from a perceptional point of view. Assuming you call and you say that you bought this, price was this, you bought that, price was this, what do you think accounted for the price variation? And I give you options as in, do you think it was profiteering? Do you think it was lack of information and so on and so forth? And then you tell me it's profiteering. We'll present that result from a perceptional point of view. If you really want to understand it, then you should be lucky that the person who is profiteering will tell you that I am profiteering. And the conversation around that is what we want to do. We need to begin to collect data on the build-up of costs. And one of the conversations we started having with the Ministry of Trade and Industry is that if we can get the cost of items at the time that they get to the port, and we can trace these items and get the build-up cost, then we can make a decision on what is happening and whether it's profiteering. The same applies with our locally produced items, especially our farm produce. If we can get the prices at the farm gate, get the prices transport, get the prices storage, get the prices seller, then we know the build-up cost along the value chain. Then you can say that profiteering is happening. And this is something that GSS can only do it in collaboration with the ministries.